Hey everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel, and today I've got something that will definitely make you think. As you know, I've done a few videos on EVs or electric vehicles, and I've had some feedback, both positive and negative. Now, keep in mind, I'm not trying to change minds. I'm trying to help you make some money in the stock market. News drives these stocks and situations hinders these stocks. Situations like the costs, the battery replacement, charging on the grid, and so forth. Well, today I'm going to give you a plethora of useful information, and as always, the choice is yours to make. So you sit right there and take this in. Hey everybody, Glenn Tompkins, senior instructor here on our YouTube channel, and I always love bringing these videos to your attention to give you some insight into some stocks to help you to make some money in the stock market. If you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you'll be alerted to when videos like this come out. And if you like the information that you've got or that I'm giving you today, don't forget to hit the like button. Hit that like button and share this video with people in your social circles. All right, let's get right into it. Let's start off by looking at some news. Big news comes out today. All right, Walmart to buy electrical fleet for the last mile deliveries. So this is big, and the company that's going to be the benefactor of this is going to be Canoo, or ticker symbol GOEV. We're going to take a look at that ticker symbol in a minute. The EV maker revealed last year that it was relocating its headquarters to Bentonville. So I'm just going to let you know that that's a big news that can move that stock's price, in that a big company, one of the biggest retailers out there, is investing in electric vehicles, and Canoo is going to be the benefactor. There's other stories that have come out where Tesla and Hertz have matched up, and there's going to be more and more of this. And I still think that no matter what you think about EVs, that they are picking up a lot in demand, and a lot of EVs are selling. A lot more people are looking at electric vehicles because of high gas prices. Now, that's just another story for another time, and I know somebody's going to come at me with that, and you know something, that then becomes a little bit more political. I don't want to do that here, but if the companies have an opportunity to make you money, that's why I'm bringing it to your attention. Now, let's talk about some statistics in regards to sales. Electric car sales jumped 83% in a year. 83%. So when I say that these vehicles are garnering more demand, I ain't just whistling Dixie. I'm saying that actually the numbers show that electric car sales are jumping 83% in a year, market share doubled. Now, how about a company that we all know, BMW? BMW Group increased all electric car sales in Q2 in 2022 by 85%. Now, that's just one of the main manufacturers that are out there, and it's not as main as GM or Ford, which are also in that space. Hyundai, Toyota, just about every major manufacturer is in the space for electric vehicles. Now, I know the biggest thing that comes out is that, man, I'm not paying $60,000, $70,000 for an electric car. I totally understand that. But if you look at high-end combustion engines, big vehicles like big trucks or whatever, they are already in the market for that price, and people are willing to pay the money for those if they've got the money to spend. Well, if you've got the money to spend on those combustion engines, how about a lot of these vehicles that are out there at the high price range? Those people might be willing to be looking at electric vehicles. But on the other side of that, Tesla has approached that market as well, and by introducing lower end or lower cost electric vehicles. And at some point in time, I'm thinking that the Lucids, the Neos, a lot of different companies will also be in the market of, especially if the demand is picking up, to offer lower dollar cost cars in that EV space. So now, with that being said, let's talk about the grid, all right? Idaho, by way of the infrastructure bill, and I made a video on this not too long ago, that the money from the infrastructure law is going out to people. It's going out. Idaho, and this is recent, couple of days ago, actually today, Idaho receives $28 million to build EV charging stations every 50 miles of interstate. So when I have said that before, the money is there. The money is there for the infrastructure for charging. I'm not whistling Dixie. It is there. It just needs to be released to the states. And slowly but surely it is to accommodate the demand, the higher demand for the electric vehicles. So now a lot of people say, well, the grid can't take it. The electric grid can't take all of these EVs being charged. Well, I got a little something for you. What's the effect of the electric cars on the power grid? I'm trying to do my homework. What does energy efficiency have to do with all of this? Big changes don't happen in a day or even in a year, and I believe that. I don't think that electric vehicles are going to be the end-all, be-all right here, right now. It's going to be a long way to go. But these companies, a lot of these companies are up and coming, and if they're growing in demand, and when the rubber meets the road, they can meet the demand by delivering the vehicles, these companies will make money. The shift from combustion engine vehicles to the greener alternative takes time. That's real, which gives the electric grid time. You see this? Time to adjust to the changes, like coping with a large number of fast chargers. I see a lot of people telling me in the comments, the grid can't handle it. I'm letting you know that the grid looks like right now, if it slowly but surely accommodates the growing demand for the charges and can adapt to it, I think the grid is going to be fine. That's my 2 cents, but I've got a story to back up my 2 cents. In addition to this, energy efficiency keeps improving. See that? Keeps improving in other areas, and the consumption of electricity, for example, in the construction and housing sectors will decrease in the next few years. Energy utilities are also constantly developing new solutions for electricity demand response. So outside of even the electric vehicles, the ancillary companies are actually getting on board with this to accommodate the powering of the grid. So this, I keep hearing that, and I wanted to address that, as well as the cost, as well as the batteries. And the batteries are covered for 10 years, 100,000 miles, and I still don't think yet, with the infancy of this space, that we've come across people having to replace batteries out of pocket. If they're covered by warranty and something goes wrong with the battery, people don't have to pay for the battery. It is actually not until after it goes out of warranty, and then the prices are astronomical. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I totally agree with that. They are astronomical, and in excess of 20 grand or more. That's a lot of money. But I've also done a video that shows that in maintaining an electric car combined or compared to a combustion engine, over time, it is a lot less money to maintain an electric vehicle than it does a combustion engine, specifically because electric vehicles have a lot less moving parts. But it is more outlay upfront to buy the vehicle, but over time, if you compare the maintenance costs are considerably lower on an electric vehicle than it is on a combustion engine. All right, so now let's get to another story. It looks like 4,680 powered Tesla Model Ys recharged to 80% in 32 minutes. That's another bone of contention with a lot of you out there, that it takes too long to charge up a battery. I'm telling you that the technology is getting out there to charge these cars in a lot less time than currently what's going on right now. But this is a small number, 4,680 cars being powered up to 80%. That's a good number in 32 minutes. That's not half bad. So now, in regards to that, advanced EV batteries move from labs to mass production. And the whole story behind this is that people are going after the technology to make smaller and smaller batteries. The race is on, and the cars that can get out there with the smaller batteries are going to be the cars that are going to be most prevalently sold in this marketplace. So makers of batteries that could charge in a few minutes, are setting up assembly lines, bringing the technology a big step closer to auto showrooms. Now, on the other side, the flip side of this, I'm going to tell you about another company that's pivoting. They're not only taking advantage of the EV business, but they're looking forward to another thing as well, and that's the EV maker XPeng. Chinese EV maker XPeng robotics arm raises $100 million to bring robots to households in 2 years. Now, I know that's outside of just the EV space, but it's interesting that an EV maker is going outside of the box to continue to grow in this space of technology. So I wanted to bring that stock to the forefront as well. All right, now let's go take a look at some of the stocks that I have for you. Now, there's a couple of ways that I want to analyze this space to give you a much more deep-rooted understanding of, is this space for you? All right, so I've got 5 stocks that I'm going to concentrate on today, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to concentrate on these stocks. But let's start off this way, and I'm going to use the analytical powers of the VectorVest system to be able to bring this information to your attention. I'm going to right-click on Tesla, and I want to double-click on Tesla, and it's going to bring up all of the stocks in that space. Here's the top 10 stocks. Now, right now, in the space where all the electric vehicles are housed in the industry, the auto and truck manufacturing in the VectorVest system, there's 55 stocks. So there's a lot of stocks. And a lot of you will say, well, you didn't talk about this stock, and you didn't talk about this stock, and you didn't talk about this stock. There's 55 stocks in this space. And in this video, I'm only honing in on about 5 of them. So I want that to be made known before you think that I just excluded a stock that you like in the space. So if I sorted this list by VST, the stocks that have the best combination of value, safety, and timing, Lee comes to the top of the list. What else is up there? The big boy, Tesla. This is the stock that everybody's going after. This is the big daddy when it comes down to the electric motors, electric vehicles. Stellantis, Nissan, Shift, Tata Motors, Mercedes-Benz, Great Wall, Oshkosh, and the Rev Group. Now, the only stock in this list that's a buy recommendation by our VST ranking is Lee Motors. Well, why, Glenn, didn't you have that in your list? Well, I'll talk to you about that in a second. Let's do some more analysis that you can only do in the VectorVest system. Let's sort these 10 stocks. Now, remember, I'm only looking at 10 stocks out of 55 stocks. The stocks that have the best upside potential. Oh, Tesla, still at the top of the list. It was number 2 by VST, but it's number 1 by relative value. These are the stocks that have the best ability to outperform a AAA corporate bond over the next 1 to 3 years. These are stocks that should outperform the market. Well, what about the stocks that consistently make money or grow their earnings? Let's sort this list now of 55 stocks by relative safety. Bam! Tesla is up there again. You'll notice that time after time, no matter how you analyze the stocks in the VectorVest system, Tesla comes up to the forefront. Now, I notice it's a sell recommendation. Why? Because it's getting beat up right now. The RT on the stock is showing me that the stock is getting beaten up right now. I totally understand that. But then I can also see what stocks come up again, like Shift, like Stellantis. GM is now in the list. Honda is in the list. But I can pay attention to the stocks that continually come up and show themselves in the list, no matter how we sort them. All right, so now I'm going to do something else. I'm going to right-click on Tesla, and let's go look at the industry graph, the industry of all 55 stocks. All right, let's go put this on a 3-month graph. Now, this is going to open your eyes. As much as I like the space, what is this space doing? Look at it. Right now, it's in a channel. Remember, we're looking at 55 stocks right now. Sitting in the channel, the 3 is slightly below the 8 right now, but sitting in the channel. Look at the earnings per share for all 55 stocks over the last 3 months. The earnings per share is falling. The stock is in the channel. The stock overall, or actually the industry overall, is in a downtrend. So why, pray tell Glenn, are you talking about EVs again? Why? Because again, there's news that's pushing it. The demand is there. You saw the statistics showing that EVs are increasing in sales by a big number over the last year. That's the reason why I want to keep this prevalent in your mind. Now, am I telling you to go buy these right now? Absolutely not. By all means, time the moves on these. And sometimes the news on a stock, on one of these stocks, could really short term move it up 10, 15, 20%. Could you make some money on that? Absolutely. I still think that long term, because of the demand, because of the rise in sales, that this space is a space longer term that you do want to keep your eyes on, but you want to time the trades. So now, this is the graph of all 55 stocks. Now, let me show you why I'm honing in on these 5 stocks. Well, XPEV, it made the news about its robot arm bringing robots to households in the next couple of years. Canoe, well, because they got the order with Walmart, and Tesla, of course, because we saw that they can be recharged, and this is just in a small sampling of Tesla, they could be recharged in a low amount of time. Now, the other 2 that I have in here, Stellantis, I have it in here because it's got a relative value above 1. GM, I've got it in here because it's got a relative value above 1. Now, none of these stocks are buys. They're all sells or holds because, again, the space as a whole is getting beaten up. Now, let me show you something a little different. Let me show you the graph of these 5 stocks, not all the over 55 stocks, but these 5 stocks, and why I like these the most. Let's go down to the watch list average at the bottom of the list, right click, view the average, watch list average. Now, let's go put this on I got it on a 4-month graph. It's a little different story. Out of looking at the 55, I'm like, wow, these are in a channel and the earnings per share are going down. This is a little different. That's why I picked these. How about coming off this level of support for these 5 stocks? The stock's price, or the group of the stocks, are going up in price, number 1. Number 2, they're right at a level of resistance. Number 3, the earnings per share looks a lot different, better than the overall 55 stocks in the whole space. By honing in on specific stocks, these may not be bad plays. I'm trying to bring the creme de la creme to the top of the list for you to keep your eyes on. Thus, the reason why I'm focusing on these 5 stocks. Now, Tesla has been at the top no matter how you sort it, because again, it's the big boy. It grows its earnings at a clip of 51% a year. It's got a relative value above 1, a relative safety. So fundamentally, Tesla is sound. What other stock in here is fundamentally sound? No other ones where I have relative value and relative safety both above 1. But I look at Stellantis, relative value above 1, right at 1 at 0.99 on relative safety, almost fundamentally sound. It is a sell recommendation. But XPEV, that's more of a speculative play. Looking at GoEv, that just got that order, Canoe, that's more of a speculative play. So depending on how you invest in the market, I can at least hone in on some of the stocks that you might want to look at. Let's graph all of these stocks and let's take a look. Intraday today, Tesla fell, but now starting to move as I'm doing this video. Let's go look at Stellantis. Nice move. No news on it, but look at the nice move. So again, do you have short-term opportunities on some of these stocks if you timed them? Absolutely. Stellantis, again, sitting at a level of resistance intraday. XPEV, a little choppy all over the place. Wow, look at GM intraday. Looks good. Nice move to the upside. Would like to see more volume, though. And then we got GoEv. This is the story, the stock that got the story. It moved up pre-market, ran, and now fell back. All right, let's take a look at these stocks again, but now on a longer term basis. Put these on a 3-month graph. Tesla, I love the earnings per share. The stock is sitting in a channel. Would like to see it break above that level of resistance. Stellantis, looks like it wanted to run. The 3 never crossed above the 8 on an end of day basis. I would wait. I'm looking at XPEV. It was moving up. Did you have an opportunity with the 3 and the 8 to make money on this? You did. pulling back right now, sitting right at a level of support at the value of 29.37. Watch the earnings per share. It's falling. Be careful with that one. But I like the price action a little bit. GM overall falling down, coming off a level of support. Earnings per share is falling. I would still give it an opportunity, but overall, I'd like to see it break above this downtrend. And last but not least, we have GoEv, the big story. Did gap up this morning, pulled back a little bit on a lot of volume. The news drove this stock up, but pulling back, a lot of give back, a lot of people taking profits on the stock today. So, folks, those are my stocks in this space that I, at least if nothing else, would like you to take a look at. Number one. Number two, I've given you some other information to prove the case that this may not be a bad space for you to be in, all right? Or at least to consider. I'm not trying to change your minds. A lot of you are dead set against buying electric cars. That's your choice. But if these companies do give you an opportunity to make some money, whether it's by news or whether by its technology, being able to put more charging stations out there that are not overpowering the grid, looking at smaller batteries, looking at the demand, looking at all of these different things, you got to sit back and at least consider that these stocks may have an opportunity to make you some money in the stock market. Remember, here at VectorVest, we do the work, you reap the rewards. I need you guys to take a deeper look, at least consider this information, and maybe put some of these stocks on your watch list. Remember, we got 55 stocks in that industry, and I honed in on just 5, and you saw the difference that a graph can make in looking at them in 2 different ways. So we do the work, you reap the rewards. So folks, this video is over. And until the next time, see ya. Yeah.